Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. I make a Sleep With Me podcast, and the stories here at Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me are stories from our main show, Sleep With Me podcast. I only laugh because it's a lot of words. But if you really enjoy these bedtime stories from Sleep With Me, or if you're new, welcome, enjoy them. I hope you enjoy them. I hope they keep you company in the deep, dark night, help you fall asleep. But if you really enjoy these stories, the best ways to help them keep it coming is to try out a subscription on Sleep With Me Plus at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus, or just let people know about bedtime stories from Sleep With Me. It's new. It's something we've never tested out before. And by sharing it, letting people know about it is a huge way to support it and to let other people know what you like about it. So I really appreciate it. And I'd love to hear from you. If you sign up for Sleep With Me Plus, even for a trial, I'll send you out a video and thanking you, and you can reply right to that video. Or you could always reach me through the contact page on our website. Those messages come straight to me. Thanks so much, and enjoy these bedtime stories from Sleep With Me. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, who am I and why am I here? I'm Scoots, your bedtime. I'm here to be your friend in the deep, dark night. I'm no David Tennant, but, or David Tennant, or how about Dave Tennant? Does anybody know Dave Tennant? Give me a shout. I'm giving you a shout out. I don't even know if you're listening because I just popped in my head. But maybe you're saying, oh, Tenenbaum, what are you talking about, sir? And I'd say, well, if you're confused, you may be in the right place because it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And here's a couple of ways we're able to do this for you for free twice a week. Hey, everybody, this is Scooter. I make a Sleep With Me podcast, and that's where these stories come from, bedtime stories from Sleep With Me. And I hope they help you fall asleep. If you enjoy these, let people know about the show. Just share it when you share stuff. Hey, I really like these bedtime stories from Sleep With Me. Or you could always support the show on Sleep With Me Plus. That's how we're able to do this. You could sign up at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. You could test out a trial even. But if you value the content we make on Sleep With Me and here at Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me, it's the most powerful way to make sure they're here and available for you now and in the future. And you can always let me know about it when you sign up for Sleep With Me Plus. I send you a thank you video. You can reply right to that video, or you could get me through the contact page on our website, right at sleepwithmepodcast.com. So thank you so much, and good night. Everybody, it's Scoots here, and we're talking. Welcome back, Doctor. Instead of Cotter, welcome back, Doctor. We're talking Doctor Who like a while ago. I don't know if it's been a year, 2 years since we've covered some Doctor Who, but oh boy, did I miss it. And I forgot how much I missed it, so I started watching it again. So I'm so happy to be back. We're in the middle of season 3, the second David Tennant season. And we're starting with episode 7. And what we'll do is, I enjoyed with this, let's be perfectly honest. I enjoyed reading through my notes and then watching it on Great British Bake Off. But I also sat down to record and I don't have my iPad with me. So I said, okay, I guess we're rolling with the notes first. So we'll run through my notes and then we'll run through the episode visually. So that'll be fun, right? And this is Doctor Who season E, which I think is actually a 3, episode 7. Luckily, for some reason, one of my bosses taught me to use a European 7, with the thing in the middle. So I can always tell when I do a 7, but any other. So I got that going for me, and know my 7s. And according, 42 seconds is what I put for the episode title, but I think it's just 42. And technically, I think it's 42 minutes. We got a quick TARDIS toot show. Oh, flutes? Does that say flute solo? Quick TARDIS, TUTESHO, then flip phone. What does toot show mean? I don't think there was a flute solo. Interesting. Toot show. But then there's big bezels on the phone. Maybe this doesn't say sonic screwdriver. Oh, that comes up. Big bezel, sonic screwdriver. Maybe it showed it outside. Toot show. Flute show. It's only 4 letters. It definitely looks like Tute. Tutu? Maybe Tutu show? No one was in a tutu that I know of. But flip phone, big bezel, screwdriver, pursed dock. That's what that looks like. Pursed dock lips. Universal roaming. No way. 2. Frequent flyers, prinking, parking, privilege, I think, perk, dissolution. They get a call, basically. There's turbulence, and they're coming in hot. They get a distress call, maybe that says. They're coming in hot. There's steam, like a sauna. Can't stand the heat, can't start the heat. Then we see crew running ×3, get out. So they basically go into this chamber, the TARDIS. They get out of the TARDIS, it's really hot. And then the doctor says, they say, what's going on here? You know, doctor, we'll go through that when we go through it. Then the crew runs, 3 crew members. They say, what are you doing in there? It's like boiling in there. Get out. And the doctor says, we got no engines. Then there's a secure closure. And something's locked into 27. Who are you? He's the doctor, and I'm Martha. Martha, it's been too long. If you don't mind me saying, you and the doctor. 42 minutes, doctor times 2. How come, here's a pitch, too late now, but instead of sister, they could have had, or we could do this with another set of twins, but it'd be better if it was like a not a reboot, but a continuation. So there was a show, Sister, right? What if there was a show like in the future, Doctor? I'm just saying that would work. That's a title that could be used. How come there hasn't been a show about, here's a pitch, not for free, by the way. And, but Doctor. This would be more of a mainstream show. These are not where my skill set is, but, 2 doctors that are twins, probably would be something I would not be nice to on the podcast or in my mind. Like, what's your favorite show? Doctor, man. That's how I find out about the latest breakfast cereals and mainstream products. I need my laugh track. Oh, it's just a sitcom. It's a sitcomedy. What's that? Well, because it has a little bit of, it's barely dramatic. Where can I watch this? Oh, only in Scooter's imagination when he thinks of it. Originally it's supposed to be the sisters from Sister, but then he could only get the Winklevoss, he could only get then he tried to do the Weasleys. Obviously that didn't work out. So then he was able to do the Winklevosses. He calls them the Winklevi. That's how he was able to get around, because they didn't actually want to be involved. So anyway, he doesn't think about it often. So I guess you could say it's no longer airing. Okay, but so back to the show. Oh, so then my next question was, is this real time, like 24? There's once upon a time, for all of you youths out there and those of you not in the U.S., there was a show. I think it was on for many, many seasons. Then there was a break, and then it was rebooted at least once. It starred Kiefer Sutherland, and it was called 24. And at the time, and this was before The Sopranos and like TV had changed. This was kind of like, I think it probably spanned the cusp of TV streaming. What do they call it? Platinum television. I don't know. Whatever they call it. Peak TV. I don't believe that term. But, talk about petering things out. But so the show 24 was based on the premise that it was happening in real time. So Kiefer Sutherland was this person with all of these skills, and it was like an action show. It was on Fox, and each episode would play out over an hour. Now, obviously, it's fiction, but it was like they tried to, that was one of the conceits was like, Kiefer Sutherland has essentially 24 hours to save something very important. and I presume it was 24 episodes. And I remember, I remember watching it, right? And the first few seasons were constantly talked about. Then I got a job, and the people I got a job with, they were like huge 24 fans. So it's like almost a working requirement to work for them. And what's my point in there? I guess my point was that, at some point it realized, I believe it could have been a series of mishandles, but I think like there were campy elements of it and soap operatic elements. And so they leaned into those, I think, in a good way when I was watching it, when I was working with this husband and wife team. And so the main thing was the show played out and essentially tried to stick to the premise. Each episode was an hour long. I don't know. Again, don't ask me what happened. I think it was still, that hour was still running during the commercials, and it had a ticking clock. This episode has a ticking clock, but I had to do some basic math. But I put 2:07 was when they said 42 minutes left. Time starts. Sunday, big sun, big ship, big music. So there's a sun, there's a big ship, there's big music. The ship's out of control. Then the episode opens, and we find out there's 7 crew. There's something with an A. There's steam. There's my ship. This is a lot of cuts. This is a very quick moving episode. There was, on the second and third time I watched it, I said, okay, it was a little bit slower. The first time I was kind of like breathless. It would be like, but the second and the third time I watched it, I said, okay, it does have a couple slower beats and really pungent or whatever, not pungent beats, but the poignant ones. But anyway, it is one of the faster moving episodes. Not a lot of introspection or pondering. Action-based, 7 crew, steam, my ship, lifeboat, we're stuck. There's 40 minutes and 26 seconds left. Blimey. Uncredited, everyone. Something engine, Ashton, Corwin, glasses. Oh, we're on Taraji. We're in the Taraji system. Oh, Doctor puts his glasses on, figures out we're there. Taraji system, half a universe away, Martha. The doctor does a throwaway, what's seemingly a throwaway line, which is actually essential. He says, was this before or after they banned energy scoops for fusion? The crew kind of has there's a look, outlawed yet, no response or no repose, burnt out controls, auxiliary engines. 29 password sealed doors, no engine, no. How about some Dunkirk spirit, the doctor says. It's a 2-person job. Martha thanks, Martha thinks, Martha helps. Be careful. McDonald, get up to med. Careful now, lots of running. So this is my first math attempt. An attempt is a way to describe it. 34:31 is the time left on the 42-minute clock, but 6 minutes have elapsed in the episode. So that's this is our control time now, because I didn't do a control time earlier, apparently. Or did I? Oh yeah, 2:42 to 2. At 2 minutes, the clock started. And that's at 42. So at 42 is 2 minutes. So it should have been 40 would be 4 minutes. 38 would be 6 minutes. But we're at 34. So it is not exactly real time. Or my math is off. I put 42 to 2. 4 shall be 40. 6 should be 38. Dude in tube won't open his eyes. A too hot baby. Sabotage the ship? No way. I saw it. open your eyes. The doctor's saying, hey, man, open your eyes. A sedative, stasis chamber, bioscan. Something's going on. May have caught a cold. Industrial music. I just realized at this moment, like I was thinking, I was hearing, I said, oh, I remember writing about that industrial music. A little bit like Nine Inch Nails or like Ministry. But I said, oh, wait, that was on Mandalorian. But kind of a similar vibe, a little bit. Any questions? Who are you? I'm the doctor. So the med person says, who are you? He says, I'm the doctor. The dude wakes up, but no one sees it. Then we're 8 minutes in, 32 minutes on the clock. I don't know what the math is on that. Clamp door, trip colors, trip coders. But only one chance. SS Pentillions, first flight. So basically, every time a door seals on the ship, when they were partying, science of data, dude, wakes up. Scans of data, wakes up, trouble. Then there's a happy prime mention in the really funny dialogue, 331, 313, 331, 367, the next number in that sequence, just in case you need it one day, 379. But don't use it because my handwriting, I didn't do a European 7, so it looks like a 7. Will do, thanks. Pub quiz, be it less, here comes the sun. So then they get a question, who had more number one hits pre-download era? Elvis or the Beatles? And I was like, I would have definitely got it wrong. And even the doctor makes a here comes the sun thing. Use wrenches to a jump start. So they're going to try to jump start the engines. Tiny glimmer of hope. And then we're at 25:46, but 11:10 in the episode. Martha calls her mom. I've been calling you in listen time. Who did you get? So radio. So rude. So Martha's mom plays like she's irritated again. Are you with the doctor? Where are you? I'm concerned. Then we put Colin, but I think it's Corwin's body is changing. Eyes closed. He's awake. Urgent. Doctor runs. Guitar music. Eyes closed. Sun with me. He says, man, let's sit out in the sun instead of working. Basically, this Corwin, he's behaving strangely. He's saying, let's just park the engine and sit in the sun. Very similar. But like at first, the first time I watched it, I said, oh, this is similar to, now I can't even remember the name of the movie. So never mind. It was a movie. Oh, no, I almost had it, but it's gone now. But then it turns out the answer is Elvis. Who had more number ones, Elvis or the Beatles? I guess it's Elvis. So it probably means, I said, because the Beatles catalog is so huge. But I don't know. I mean, I love Elvis, but steam with me, he says, then sun with me. What was that? Got to go. Hand on, 27:06 left, 14. So math, you can do it on your own. Colin, give steam with me, not Luna vapor. Bioscan, 100 degrees, hydrogen. It's got to be wrong. So the doctor basically saying he's become a hydrogen-based being. Planet fill, exont content, just a cargo ship. So the doctor's trying to get to the bottom of this, like solve the mystery part of what happened to Corwin. Why did he become a hydrogen-based being that doesn't want to work or have the ship move, but just wants to bask in the glory of the sun? There's a Danny Boyle movie, Sun. It was about the sun. And I used to watch it a lot with my brother. Very visually stunning movie. Great performances, too. I think, yeah, I'm thinking of the casting. Holy moly. Anyway, just a cargo ship. The doctor stares. We think he steams. Abby. Urena at her locker. She's irritated. Corwin shows up. Can you give him, we've been married for 11 years. He keeps me honest. No false hope. he's gone. So the doctor's interviewing the captain of the ship saying, what's happened? What strange happened? And she says, nothing. And the doctor says, well, it doesn't make any sense then. There's nothing strange. You haven't docked with anybody. You haven't done it. Oh, I almost had it. Sunlight, not the name of the movie. But, and he says, I don't know. She says, I don't know. Nothing strange has happened. But you could see on her face that she's not telling the truth. I wish I knew. It's vital you tell me. Eyebrow up. Steam door run. Area 17. Another crew out. Corwin. We are mates. It's too hot. Too hot, baby. Then we see a shot of the ship in the sun. The door. Corwin moves. They got reserves. They got a reserve pod. You get stuck in escape. Put on trying to reprogram. Okay, so what happens here is... Martha and one of the crew members, they're the ones trying to open all the sealed doors. Corwin shows up. He's a hydrogen-based being now, and he's not down to problem solve anymore. So he says they try to get away from him because he also has the power of the sun. And in close quarters, that's no good. When he says too hot, baby, he means it. He like run away lately or whatever the next line is. So they run into an escape pod. Then Corwin and the crew member are both trying to reprogram the escape pod. Corwin's trying to launch it, which the only thing nearby with gravitational pull is a giant sun. And so they do a reprogramming back and forth like 3 or 4 times. Ashton's his name, and he looks like I think that's maybe, is that Ashton? I don't know. But there's that boy band, 5 Seconds to Summer. There's Ashton in there. And this guy's got a hunk, he's got some hunk action going too. No way to jumpstart. What the heck? Corwin, where are you? What are you? Why? My husband, okay, so, oh wait, I got ahead of myself here. So they try to jettison, reschedule, lots of yelling, doctors running, hold, stabilize, lots of breathing, laughs. So then finally, Corwin smashes the controls, launches the escape pod. There's no way to stop it. So then Kath, the captain of the ship, says, my husband, you know me, I'm Kath, your wife. He says, it's your fault. The doctor runs 2 verts of it. This is when he punches it. 2 verts of it, 3 exclamation points. I don't know what that is. 2 verde of it. Punches, can't stop it, your fault. Steam bath. Dr. V, I want to know. Airlock sealed. Ashton on his way. Locked in airlock. Pod out. Ding, ding, ding. Doctor and Martha. I'll save you. Don't worry. I'll save you. I can't hear you. So he's saying, I'll save you. Martha and this guy, maybe Ashton, are on the escape pod getting launched. Can't hear you ×3. The pod's out. Doctor says, sorry, there's a slow-mo, there's the sun, 17:07 left in the countdown clock, 24 minutes into the episode. Kath and Corwin and another dude, your fault. The doctor does know. We need you. Get down here. I'll deal with Ashton. Pod drops. He'll come for us. Martha tells the other guy in the pod, he's hopeless. She says, don't worry, the doctor will say it. You don't know that. He says, there's no hope. She goes, you don't know the doctor. Really, this is the downbeat moment, emotionally strong. So they share a moment in the quietest space or multiple moments. They talk about family and, prepare themselves. No silence, so much noise, they'll never know. They also talk about their comparative families. Like Martha begins to come to terms with, she keeps kind of, this one of the thematic things is like her and her family. And this guy has no family really. And so they kind of share, it's an important moment like that. They have this inverse thing going. They'll never know. He says, call them. Aaron, 33, Area 30, Shandown, lured by Kath into bioscanner. Doctor suits up. I got to remagnetize it. And the guy says, it's too late. And he goes, I'm not going to lose her. So they go kind of subtle on this one because you're carrying, stuff with Rose and even with Martha's past interactions with the doctor that, the doctor's got to save his companion, right? Puts on this red suit, man. That's at 12:55 in the countdown, 28:45 in the episode. Martha calls her mom. It's me again. There's mysterious people listening into the mom's phone. They got it tapped. She says she's out with mates. Let's talk about anything. The mom's trying to buy time for whoever's tapping the phone. So it was a little bit like I said, Martha, you call me. I'll talk to you about nothing for as long as you want. But she says, just talk to me, Mom, about anything. And she want to hear your voice. But the mom, of course, kind of takes it where, parents tend to take it, right to the bone. And then she says, never mind, Mom, I got to go, kiss everybody for me. And the tapper wants more time. Then there's a big pod hug. And then a real nice moment, like the guy, he's not Ashton, apparently, but he kisses her, Martha, on the forehead, holds her. Doctor, action, more wind, sun. So he's out there trying to remagnetize the pod. We got to do it on the outside of the ship, of course. So he's trying to reach these controls and hit buttons. We see the big ship moving against the sun, big music. He gets one button, then I think two buttons. Then he's got to open up a thing and flip a lever. And he does finally, they're like, you can't do it. There's too much wind, the whole thing. But he pulls it off. Magnet Balfour. I told you the doctor. Then they come back. The doctor actually looks at the sun while he's out there. And it comes, he says, oh, the sun's alive. It's a sentient being or beings or something, or maybe collective something. It goes into him. They close the airlock. This is 9 minutes left, 33 minutes into the episode. The doctor crawls out. Doctor, story. What's happened? Stay away, he says to Martha and everybody. The sun is a living organism. This is maybe the captain. He says, humans, you should have scanned because they did do an energy scoop. He says, you got to put me in the stasis chamber and freeze it out quickly. Then they had thought they froze the husband, but he wakes back up. Purple, ferrite color, orange. I don't know what that is. Purple, ferrite color, orange. Doctor yelling. He's not human. Let's mishap you. That's enough. 10 seconds. Get rid of it. Doctor. The doctor's scared. Quiet now. Doctor's still in the suit. He goes, you got to do 200 degrees. 7 green yells. Sun and ship shot. Hubby rises. Shuts in downpour. Out. Cut. Oh, he cuts the power. They're trying to freeze the doctor to get the sun out of him. This husband, Corwin, wakes up from big sleep. Cuts the power. Kath, the captain, says, leave it to me. Half crim, 4147 or 3720. Lots of cuts. Doctor starts to defrost. Get to the front of the ship. Give back what you took. So essentially, they scoop sun energy out of the sun to run their fusion reactors, which turns out in the future would be banned, but it's actually had been banned. And I mean, I'll spoil it. She says, geez, it takes a lot of work. We just needed fuel for the ship, He goes, you can't scan the planet for living beings. And she goes, we got to report back in, the efficiency triplicate or whatever. 408 shut down. It was my fault. So Cass says at 343, hide and seek in the airlock. So Cass playing hide and seek with Corwin in the airlock. She totally does that move that we've seen before. Great move, by the way. She does hide and seek in the airlock and says, come and try to find me. And then he goes in the airlock. And so they take a trip she says, you want the sun? Let's go see it close up, baby. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. So she says, I'm sorry. They're out. I love you. They hit it in space. Keep going. Okay, I will. 22 minutes, 17 seconds, 39:54 into the episode. Everyone's moving at this point. Doctor scrawling, more big music. Symbols are crashing. 0% chance now the computer's giving them. Martha, exclamation point. Doctor, can't fight it. Give it back. Martha runs. 121. Code is make it to reboot. Not working. So the dudes have made it into the energy restart place, but then they can't reboot the engines. The doctor, Martha says, forget about it. You just got to dump all the fuel out of the ship. Then she says, come on, doctor, hold on. They do a fuel dump. The sun exits the ship. There's lots of turbulence. They pull out of the dive. It exits the doctor. Impact is averted. Everyone stands and hugs the doctor, runs, hugs, ship reversal, talking TARDIS, compact, robust. Oh, so then, yeah, they have whatever the sequence after. So the couple of the crew are left. They see the TARDIS. They say, this is your ship. He goes, this I loved. He goes, yeah, this is, it's compact. It's robust. They're all hugging. Official May. So they say, what are you going to do? And they say, well, we sent out an official Mayday. And then they said, what are you going to tell them? And then the doctor says, why don't you try telling them the truth? They share, then Martha shares a moment with the person whose name's not Ashton. And it's really, and I guess, relatable because he's developed, obviously, a crush on Martha. And he goes, she goes, I hope you find somebody to believe in. He goes, I think I already did. He goes, will we ever see each other again? She goes, nah. And she goes, we can make out for a second. And I guess he's a good kisser because she says, well done. And I said, and I think she might even said that was hot. And I said, well, you're kidding me? Like, that's an understatement. And then she steps onto the ship. She's kind of skipping, and she gives the doctor a hard time. Like, turned out we didn't even need you. We solved that one on our own. But the doctor's kind of like scowling. And there's like this awkward moment at first, but it's really that he's locked in thought, or maybe not. Like, but again, this is a little bit of a good moment to say, okay, this is kind of tough to interpret, is how you define their relationship, but with some emotion. And so then awkward, but then he says, he comes out of his, whatever you call that, where you see the stuff I do all the time, scowl and look off into space. And he says, here's a key to the TARDIS for long-term companions or whatever. But it's still kind of awkward. Then she says, oh, my mom. So she calls her mom. And mom says, oh, what do I do to deserve 3 calls in a day? And she goes, if you're going to act like that, you won't be getting another one. And she says, I'm going to come around and see you. Yeah. What day is it, by the way? It's election day. Your mom keeps wanting to know she's with the doctor. And she goes, I got to go. I'll see you at some point soon. And I guess she probably could be telling the truth because they can go, jump around in time and space. And then we see the agents. They put the mom's phone in a bag. So they take her phone and then they say, Mr. Saxon will hear about this or something. And that's the end of the episode of my notes. And I'll be talking in a second here about the episode as I'm watching it. All right, we guess the episode's running now. He's scanning the phone and walking around, talking to Martha, tosses her the phone. She says, oh, no way, this is mad. You can call anywhere, as long as you know the area code. A frequent flyer privilege. So I'm running the tape. I just want to see if I may fast forward a little bit. If fast forward, whatever they call it, just scrubbing. I have to scrub my way through things. No way to. Oh, that was one of the things. Now they're on the steamy ship. Now that is hot. Automated distress. It's like sun in here. Working at full pelt, trying to cool down. Whatever it is, wherever we are. Well, if you can't stand the heat, the doctor says, but then he just exits, get out of the kitchen. I guess he's getting out of the kitchen. That's when the crew come. They say, get out of there. What are you doing? And then they say, oh, they do notice the box, that it's a police box, huh? And they say, geez, the engine stopped. Why aren't the engines going? Secure closure active. Ship's gone mad. Somebody else is running. I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot so many people's names. Who are you? He's the doctor. I'm Martha. Hello. Then Martha, this is how they hang the beginning of the episode. She looks out the window. Or this is how they get to the beginning of the episode. She looks out the window, sees the sun, says, doctor, doctor, doctor. Look, 42 minutes till the sun, Kath, the captain says. And it's a slow pull out and pan across. And we see the tail of the ship. We see the sun. And everything's moving around. What was it, Solar? No, that's not the name. I should Google what the name of that movie was. It's a name I can't remember, even though I've seen it a bunch of times. Then the episode starts to open. And let's see, what is this? Goes through the stars of the show and who directed it or wrote the episode. That's what I was kind of interested in. It's Doctor Who. And just waiting here. Waiting as things go over now. Chris Chibnall. And then the doctor's starting. Let's see. Can't believe I can't remember the name of this movie. Not Solaris. I'm close, though. Let's see. It's only one word. But why? I mean, my brain is just... I can't not say, well, Drew, this is your job here is to make sure people know about it. Sunshine. That's why I couldn't think of it. It was too sensible for me to remember. Sunshine. So now they're working on the ship, trying to figure stuff out. 29 passwords. Tarjay system. Tarjay. Half universe away from home, Martha. Feels it, she says. Hey, Doc, or hey, Captain, what's up with the ship? I thought fusion was outlawed. Well, let's just do an awkward look and move on. Or, oh, that's convenient. It hasn't been outlawed yet. I want to see that Happy Prime song. No response. Can't get to the computers or whatever. Controls are burnt out. Can't get them online. What about auxiliary engines? Don't have access. They're at the front of the ship, which is sealed off. 29 doors. Override them, yo. Martha says they say deadlocks. Got to put a passcode in. Deadlock. Sonic screwdriver doesn't work on a deadlock. Defeated before you even started. Oh, listen to you. Where's your Dunkirk spirits? I could use a little Dunkirk spirit. Riley Vashti, that's the person, that's the hunky person, not Ashton. Get to work. Reliable and simple. Okay, let's get to work. Martha's going to help. Remote controls needs to be careful, Martha. Okay, I will. Okay, then the thing runs on. Let's see. My next notes are clamp door, trip colors, but only one chance. Let's see where that is. We got stasis chamber, industrial music, little old sedation. Doctor's looking sharp in the suit. I like the striped shirt, man. The stripe, I love the way that everything plays off one another. Chuck Taylor's on. Doctor's giving out, kind of instructions, eh? Get to work here. Let's do that. Okay, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Oh, what's your favorite color? I think it's purple for one of the people. That's later in the episode. Clamp it on. What are you typing? Door's trip code is set to a random question set by the crew. 9 tours back, we thought them up. So we'd know we were the only ones who knew the answers, right? Okay, remote pulse clamp. We only get one chance. If you get it wrong, whole system freezes. Oh, I had the time here. Oh, no, that's 3250. Pentalion's first flight. What is the date of that? Must be a popular piece of history. Okay, good. Yeah, only one chance. What's Corwin doing? Check that bioscan. Can't make sense of his data. Give me a couple minutes, so I'll let you know. That's when Corwin is faking sleeping. We already become a hydrogen-based being. And he's getting ready to make his move. They go to the next thing. This is a good one. I want this dialogue. How's it going? We're at door 28, boss. Move faster. Hardy har. Okay, find the next number in the sequence. 331, 313, 331, 367. Doctor knows it right away because she says, what do you mean you don't know all the answers? He says 379. It's a sequence of happy primes, 379. Happy what? Enter it. You sure? Any number that reduces to 1. Okay, whoa. Too fast, doctor. See if I can get the pauses right on this. I don't think I can. A happy sequence of primes. You know who's happy? Optimus Prime. Sometimes. Also, I like that Optimus Prime. Sometimes grouchy, though. You know who's not very happy? Optimus Prime. It does seem a bit grouchy, but very paternal. It does seem loving, but a grouch. Any number that reduces to 1, when you take the sum of the square of its digits and continue iterating until it yields 1 is a happy number. No idea. The crew and everybody looks stunned. Any number that isn't a happy prime is a number that's both happy and prime. Now type it in. And he says, talk about dumbing down. Don't they teach recreational mathematics anymore? So that's pretty funny. Okay, we got Doctor running, clamping, 30 minutes left on this countdown, just a cargo ship. Can't believe this all depends on a pub quiz. What's this next one? Classical music, most pre-download number ones. The Beatles, how are we supposed to know that? Even the doctor doesn't know this answer. They're working on the engine. Nobody knows. Here comes the sun. She calls her mom. Hey, it's me, Martha. Mom's like in the kitchen. She has a French press, so I don't know if she's making coffee or tea. She has a couple plants. I think she grows her own herbs, Mom does. Oh, she's doing some dishes. So she's such a good hostess, like for her guests. Oh, just in case you were wondering, yeah, Martha has a flip phone because this is a flip phone. So when did you get so rude? A couple of pineapples Mom has in a fruit bowl. Okay, right now I don't see any interference. So I guess later in the episodes when the people show up. So she's trying to boot up her computer. She's got to plug the mouse in. What is this for? For a pub quiz. Yeah. Can you look it up? You're not allowed to look stuff up. Please find it. There's 400,000 results. Give me a minute. 2850 left till impact. The ship's doctor calls the doctor. Oh, did I ever tell you this one? It's a pretty old gag, but it's one of my favorite things to do. Is if you know, like if you're somewhere where there's a medical convention, This is one of my, you say, Scoots, what do you do for fun other than the stuff you talk about on the podcast? I say, well, I think of stuff on elevators to do that's silly. So you get on the elevator. I guess you could do this also at a place where there's like other places. And then you go to the back of the elevator, you wait a little while, and then you say, doctor. And everybody turns around, or a lot of people do. And they say, doctor. If you're with somebody, it's even better. But I did that in Las Vegas once, like hours at a time. Once I found it amusing, like I couldn't stop doing it. Trying to think what hotel it was, but there was a convention. I knew a doctor that was there, so I knew of its existence. So yeah, it probably says more about me than it says about me. Okay, Colin, Irwin, Arena, Area 17. Martha's still on the phone with her mom. What was that? There's a lot of yelling because vapors and stuff. Mom, maybe this is what pushes. Maybe there's a scene cut where mom calls in the authority figures from whatever the secret team that taps her phone. Nerves, reserve, lots of yelling. Doctor running to stabilize some stuff. Corwin, why, my husband. So this is all the notes. You already heard this part. Trying to think, what are the details? This is a nice looking ship. I don't know how, I'd like to see the filming of this. Questions, are they building a new set for every episode? Are they using other existing sets? Here's a challenge to anybody that's in, that has access to sets. This is totally impossible, but what if you put me randomly on one of your sets? You don't tell me anything about it, right? You give me no information. You bring me in there. I'll make a Sleep With Me episode. We'll call it Sleeping on the Set. And because I could do it on this, I could go to, because there's probably multiple locations, right? Here's more about, here's another tangent about me. So I did think about that for a good place, but I was too afraid. So here's just being honest, normalizing things for people out there that avoid things. It came up a few times. I may have already shared it too. I actually met the person, maybe it was during season 1 of The Good Place, that was producing a podcast for NBC. I think we exchanged emails, not just email addresses, but we even sent an email to one another. What year was this? Probably, I don't know, 2015, maybe 2016. And then I didn't think of it till season 2 or 3. And then I said, I should email them. I did email NBC so I could get early screeners, which happened so that I could watch episodes a week early. But I never, I said I should ask the person that runs the podcast. And then it ended up that the host of the podcast, I had, I didn't know them personally. I'd seen them perform live, Mark. And then, I knew someone that knew them, actually met them. I didn't know them, but I shook his hand. This is Mark Evan Jackson. So I said, I could email that person and ask them to ask Mark. I could try to email my contact, the person that was originally producing the podcast for NBC. I could email the person who gave me the screeners. Because I said, okay, I know that Good Place has some of their sets on Universal's lot or Universal Studios. I know that's not that far for me to go. What if I did an episode from the set of some inane details of the set, or even interviewed the set dresser or anybody, because they do such a good job there. And old Andy came in, or old Nana, Andy and Nana, my comedy team, a comedy team with Quash Dreams, Andy and Nana. Somebody remind me of some of this stuff. The Andy and Nana comedy team that quashes your dreams, Andy and Nana. Maybe I should write that down. Hold on. I think we may have just figured out Nuns in Space Season 3. So if you're listening to this, since stuff gets released out of order, pretty cool. I'm pretty sure we got one piece of that's a missing piece. Andy and Nana. Or it could be Andy and Anna. Comedy team that quashes dreams. Okay, so what was I saying about comedy dream? I had a tangent I was going on. Not about an elevator with doctors. Not about Doctor Who, really. Now I can't even remember what it was. Andy said to me, well, I lost it. That's all right, though. Thought it was some story about me, obviously. That's why I was, what am I going to be talking about? And it was going down some mental pass thing. Can't remember now. Sorry about that. Well, we'll see. I'm sure it'll bubble back up to the surface again. What was it about? Was it even related to this? It had to be related to the episode in some way, I guess. But the episode's still running. Doctor's talking to Kath, like serious talk. She's still in denial, saying, I wish I knew. Let's see. He'll come for us. Okay, so this is the next thing. We got Ashton gets transformed into a hydrogen-based being. And they're trying to figure out the next code. Right now, Corin's about to turn Ashton into a carbon-based, or not a carbon-based being. Who's there? Ashton, what are you doing? I'm about to shine like a diamond. So that's when they go into the escape pod. And they have to, that's when this is the back and forth. They close the doors. Oh, being on set. Sorry, Doctor Who. We did run through the episode, though. So it's like, so I said, oh, don't bother. Andy and Nana came in, and they said, don't bother. And I said, oh, yeah, you're right. That's kind of scary to me to, pitch an idea. They said, it's not a half bad idea. But the thing is with Sleep With Me related ideas, like, if you're a listener, you say, oh, of course that's a great idea. But normal people that don't listen to Sleep With Me, or have never had a direct contact with somebody, even if they have somebody in their life that listens to Sleep With Me, they usually just give you, look, I'm going to get, I say, like, even when I pitch anything, I say, what if I come to your festival and I record it? And they say, what do you mean? I say, I'll just observe things and I'll record it, or I'll record live. Even like other fairs that I've actually gotten access to, they still give me a look. They say, what are you doing again? And then I said, don't worry, it's not, no one is the butt of a joke but me. And no one's got a bigger butt for being the butt of a joke than I do. So don't worry, that's not my purpose here. I'm not making it boring to be funny either. It's really the best lulls come from true joy and appreciation. But that's hard for me to I tend to go, I'll be like talking like this and, say, how about this doily over here? So I did pass on that, but I think maybe I'm growing. So maybe someday I'll be able to pitch a future series and say, hey, what if I came on set? So that's that. Episode's still running. Doctor's going to come for us. Right now, Kath is having a showdown with her husband. I don't know if any of this... Doctor's running to try to get Martha. That's enough. He's showing down with Ashton. What do you want? Tell me. That's when he punches the thing. Jettison activated. Can't stop it. Cass having a showdown with Corwin. And he says, yeah, it's your fault. Corwin gets frozen, which we find out later is temporarily. They have ice vents. That's Andy. I mean, I guess if you're working by his son. So Doctor shows down with Ashton. Hey, let's go toe to toe. I want to know who you really are. He goes to reach for his thing, but that's when the freezing affects them both because they're kind of like a community, or they're linked, Airlock is sealed. So meanwhile, the Doctor is distracted just long enough. Oh no, then Ashton has to go deal with, he says, Ashton's coming up. He's like Corwin now. And they say, we're toast, man. Now Martha says everything's locked. She's stressed. The pod's jettisoned. Doctor's like, oh no. Now they're sealed so they can't hear each other. Doctor says, I'll save you. She says, Doctor. I'll save you. The dude says, Martha, I don't have any no Dunkirk spirit on this ship. Can't hear you. I'll save you. Martha's at the window. Beautiful necklace on Martha. I don't know if I know anything about it. Has she had it the whole time? Those are the kind of things I would only be able to observe on set. Okay, ship's drifting off slowly away. And Martha's against the glass, so's the doctor. And her hand slowly sinks. Sorry. And the ship's slowly lowering towards the sun. And whatever materials they're using to, like, mitigate the heat are high quality because, people have long enough time to get this episode to the end to solve everything. So Kath and one of her shipmates, as he said, what does he mean when he said it was your fault? And she's not happy. And he says, the doctor said this wasn't Corwin. This is now some sort of hydrogen-based being. And we need your leadership, Kath, to get off this boat. Oh, Scannell, he goes, yo, I need a spacesuit quick. And she goes, go on, help the doctor. Ashton's out there. I'll deal with him. Okay, I want to see this last, before we go, I want to see this last scene with, this scene with Martha and the guy whose name I already forgot. Probably because of a little bit of jealousy, for sure. Okay, wonderful world of space travel. Prettier it looks, less good it is. Don't worry, doctor will come. Nope, not going to happen. Haven't you heard anything about whatever Andy and Nana? You don't know the doctor. I believe in him. And then you're lucky. I never found anyone worth believing in. She turns. This catches her attention. No girlfriend, no boyfriend, nobody. Nah, I've been in, I work in space. Not really, family. Nah. Dad, I haven't talked to my mom in a while, 6 years. And my dad's in, like on another outer space, big space tour. Things are silent out here, man. Silent. Mom wanted to hold on to me, but I needed to fly. She goes, yeah, families, man. He goes, what about you? And she goes, I go, mom, dad's girlfriend. Full works, sister, brother, no silence there. So much noise. Really nice moment, especially with contrasting with that. And then she says, geez, they'll never, that's the thing. I think Rose went through the same thing. It's like, they won't know nothing. And he says, we'll give her a call then. She goes, oh, wait a second. You're right. Meanwhile, the doctor suits up. He's in rescue mode. Let's just see the end of this episode. I mean, the end of this little interaction here. Doctor's got his spacesuit on. He's getting to work. And Martha's calling, Mom, hey, just talk to me. Let's just run the internal. My internal dialogue needs a boost. Could you help? Of course I can help, honey. Love you. Why you ask me so many questions? Well, I just wanted to say I love you. That's why I called, to say I love you, to show how much I care. Meanwhile, we see that somebody's tapping in on the line. Tell Leo, Dad, Tish, everybody I love them. What's wrong? Nothing. Just out with mates. Anyone nice? Yeah. What mates? Like the doctor? Mom? Okay, what do you want to talk about? She says, just talk about anything, please. Tell me what you had for breakfast, what you watched on TV. Like, you and Dad's disagreements. Is the doctor there? She goes, leave it. And she goes, it's a simple question. Now, meanwhile, Martha's crying, And she goes, I got to go. But the spy person's like, no, drag it out. We need to, we're trying to zero in. But Martha hangs up. She's crying, and then they hug. And sometimes, even though we saw how the episode played out, sometimes that comfort and kissing somebody on the forehead something we could do for other people, even if there isn't that kiss. There's like, that's why I say to people, kiss your bicep, or you could kiss your biceps, kiss your shoulders. It's a way to say, hey, yeah, it's, you know, I don't know, space, it may be a vacuum. I think I heard that once, and it's not easy. Sometimes that's a metaphor, unless you're in space, actually, but you couldn't be, because then it wouldn't be a metaphor. Like, could never be. Here's, I guess, a strange piece of irony. The fact for a human being to use it in proper context, you would never be able to say space is I mean, you could say it, a scientist could say it from a point of, but you could never be in space and say, oh, I found out space is a vacuum, right? I mean, that's like my favorite book when I was a little kid, where the kid digged all the way, dug all the way to the other side of the world, and kept having to invent stuff. Of course, I don't remember the name. I think I've been unable to uncover the two most seminal books in my childhood. I can't figure out the titles of them or if they ever existed. The other one was like on a space station, and the kid it had a twin that was an android. And I think that was a two-part series or more. I mean, but this book was a picture book. That other one was like not young adult, but whatever you read between being picture books and young adult. But you could never say, I guess what my point would be, unless you wrote a picture book about how to do it, you could never be in space and say space is a vacuum. Wow, there's I guess you couldn't even say it. That's a life goal for me to find that out. So there's something that might be almost like forever like a metaphor or simile, that space is a vacuum. But sometimes, but I'm here to kind of keep vacuuming up those thoughts and keep you kissing your shoulders. Whether you're kissing your shoulders for you or someone else out there, like Martha and that like handsome dude she's with in space, whose name I can't remember, the doctor, Kath, or Corwin, or, the other crew members. I hope you're drifting comfortably. And if you're not, there's plenty of other episodes ready to go to help. Thanks and good night. All right. I want to thank everybody that reviewed the podcast recently. I want to thank the first person did not like the intro, too upbeat and terrible. And then something about mind, their names puts me right to sleep, though. They said five stars. Thank you. I don't remember the first 10 minutes of the first episode I listened to. I've yet to make it through a single one. I used to not be able to fall asleep till 2 a.m. These put me out. IOD said, I had a great sleep yesterday. This is Pete, best ever. It's so good when I can't sleep. Thank you. Thanks, Pete. Kaniki, skeptical initially, but came back to give it another try. So glad I did. It puts me right to sleep. Before this, my mind would just wander and worry for hours, but push play and drift into dreamland. Then ARMS says, I don't think I made it through the intro once. I love this podcast. Never fails to put me to sleep. Susie with a Z says, very helpful. I've had trouble sleeping since a young age. Racing mind, stress. This is calming. It took a few tries to get used to it. So if you're new, give it a few chances. Highly recommend. From the UK. Thank you. And they had comments about the bad reviews, but yeah, everybody's got an opinion. Another Pete. Is this a different Pete or the same Pete? Might be the same Pete. Because you can't review shows in, I don't know, but it's Aussie Pete, paying listener. Maybe it's a different Aussie Pete. It's possible we have two Aussie Petes. Turns out I was paying for a service I wasn't using anymore, so I got myself in the gear, stopped that, and started paying for sleep with me. Thank you. Let's see. Then Miss G says sleep with me rocks. I used to have trouble falling asleep, and now it takes minutes, and it's the best way to fall off. I love recommending it to others, and somebody else doesn't like the ads, but yeah, I mean, it's just... So that's one able to keep us free. So yeah, thanks so much everybody for reviewing the show recently. Happy to be there to help you. Sleep Me Exists podcast because people support the show either through Patreon membership, or or support our sponsors. And then we grow as a podcast by people just spreading the word on their own or as a part of our referral program, sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. And we have over 400 plus episodes. I think when the last time I looked, because of bonus shows, 430 or something, I don't know. And that's because people said, hey, like, just because these sponsors like this Tuck You In sponsor enable us to go from just 200 episodes to over 400 plus. So thanks so much and good night.